this young lady, of course, is not only an Olympian, but she holds a very, very special place in World Olympics. She is one of approximately 13 only Australians to have competed in more than one sport at the Olympic Games. Some of us can't even once, let them twice. Well done. Now, we'll do this in parts. Remind everybody your individual all-round and team competitions at the Sydney 2000 Olympics. So this is your Olympic career we're going to talk about first. Your gymnastics career first. Remind everybody the 2000 Olympics, firstly for Sydney, was great, and I guess for you, really great.
It feels like forever ago, competing ironically just next door at the Superdome. I was only 16 years of age, and one of the, I guess, most memorable moments for me was walking out into the Superdome. There were 15,000 Aussie fans cheering on the Australian gymnastics team. I was probably standing about this distance away from one of my teammates and couldn't actually hear each other talking. The screaming was that full on in the Superdome. So, gymnastics in Australia usually get a few hundred people in the crowd, but having 15,000 people there watching and supporting the Australian team was overwhelming and something that I'll keep with me forever.
Excellent, well done. Let's just quickly go back with your gymnastics. You started your gymnastics as a youngster where?
I started actually up in Coffs Harbour, the local showground when it used to be at the showground in Coffs Harbour, and from there I was talent scouted to train at the Australian Institute of Sport. So at the age of 10 I relocated from Coffs Harbour to take up a full-time residential scholarship in Canberra.
And as a 10-year-old, what sort of an experience was that?
It was a pretty full-on experience because coming from Coffs Harbour, from a kind of a small coastal town, and relocating to Canberra, which is much bigger and a whole lot colder, it took a little bit of adjusting, let alone the 8 hours or up to 8 hours of training we were doing each day. So it was pretty full-on, but everybody knows that gymnastics careers don't last forever and you've got to make the most of those really early years. So it's just what had to be done.
And other than the Olympics, just staying with gymnastics, what's your most memorable event?
Besides as a gymnast, probably the 2002 Commonwealth Games in Manchester. We won the team event over there, and having the Australian flag raised for you and the national anthem being played for you is an amazing, I guess, highlight in an athlete's career, and having that flag go up and the Australian anthem playing for you is, definitely one of my highlights.
And so after that, you decided it was time to maybe look at making a change, and you found the sport of diving. How did that come?
I actually looked for change in retirement. I was a whole 18 years of age, and retirement from gymnastics was on the cards, and I didn't have any plans in starting diving. When I finished gymnastics, I just wanted to finish gymnastics and finish year 12. That was my goal, and then obviously going from training so much into just studying, I got really bored, and decided that I wanted to do something again. I didn't want to go back to gymnastics, but I wanted to obviously make the most of all the skills that I'd learned as a gymnast, and obviously diving was a good option.
And was it the coach, do you think, that brought you to the level you then became as a diver?
I definitely would say that it was my coach that I owe my second career to. I had a Mexican coach. I trained just down at the pool at the aquatic centre just down that way. I competed as a gymnast that way, but went down and trained at the pool that way. And I had a Mexican coach. His name's Chava. I trained with the New South Wales Institute of Sport. And I actually met with Chava this morning for breakfast. He's like a second father to me. And although I'm not diving anymore, that's a relationship that I'll take away forever. And something that I really cherish and owe everything from my diving career to him.
So only 2 or 3 years after you finished with gymnastics, you hit the world stage of the Commonwealth Games in diving, and you achieved a silver medal. Am I correct? Well done. Just tell us again, how does that feel, actually jumping sports and still coming out with a silver medal on a world platform?
Yeah, I had only been diving for 2 years, and I actually dived at the Commonwealth Games in 2006 in an event that I had never competed in before. I was very new to diving as it was, and Melissa Wu was my 10-metre synchronised partner, and we were selected as the second Australian team to compete for our country at the Commonwealth Games. Many of you wouldn't know, but some of you may remember that back in 2006 at the Commonwealth Games, when Melissa and I did dive together, we did have a lot of publicity because she was about half my size. No joke, she weighed 26 kilos, and she stood about this high and was about that skinny, like so tiny. She was honestly half my body weight. So it was an amazing thing for us to compete together and have such a size difference, but compete so well and come away with a silver medal.
Ladies and gentlemen, please thank Alex.